Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Monday means it's Modern Monday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and today we have a super spicy Nihilist that's doing a whole bunch of different crazy things. It can be kind of Naya aggro, it can also be a cheat Emrakul into play deck. This is Naya Breach Heights, recently took Hara Wataru to a top 8 finish in the infamous small Japanese tournament, but congrats to Hara on their finish with the deck. A quick reminder before we break down Naya Breach Heights for Modern. If you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So Naya Breach Heights is kind of built around Fauna Shaman, which is kind of the survival of the fittest, fixed survival of the fittest, but it's legal in Modern. We can discard a creature to tutor for a creature and put it into our hand. So it comes down on turn 2, and we have a ton of creatures in this deck, but we can kind of use this to toolbox out whatever creature we need for a specific situation. So the big payoff is we can use our Fauna Shaman to find an Emrakul the Aeons Torn, and through the Breach It In, we got a bunch of mana dorks to speed up this process, and a hasty Emrakul pretty much closes out the game in most situations. You just wipe away so much of your opponent's stuff, and Fauna Shaman makes sure we can always have a copy of Emrakul in our hand when we need one. So the rest of the deck has a few different plans going on. We have a ton of mana dorks and mana ramp cards to help us get to our Through the Breach faster and also facilitate some of our other plans. So we have Birds of Paradise, Avacyn's Pilgrim, Noble Hierarch, actual 1-mana mana dorks. Let us start playing 3 drops on turn 2 and getting to our more expensive stuff quickly. It's not even impossible that we could actually hardcast an Emrakul if we draw enough of these. And then Nest Invader is a 2-mana 2/2, but it comes along with an Eldrazi spawn token that we can sack for mana. So 2 bodies can be relevant for some of our other tricks, plus it's another mana source that we can use for our ramping. So a couple of our big payoffs are things that get lands from our library. Knight of the Reliquary, Primeval Titan, quite literally just tutor up lands. Knight, we sack a Forcer of Plains, we get to get any land, put it into play untapped. It also can come down on turn 2 thanks to all of our mana dorks and gets really big. Can be 5, 6, 7 power pretty easily. And then Primeval Titan needs no introduction. Tutors up 2 lands, they come into play tap, but it's also a huge beater that we can just run over our opponent. And even Through the Breach on Primeval Titan isn't that bad. It gets in some damage, gets some lands. If we don't have an Emrakul or don't have a Fauna Shaman to find an Emrakul, it's a perfectly fine backup plan. And remember, we can get away with playing all those mana dorks because we can always discard them when we don't need them and turn them into Primeval Titans and Knights of the Reliquary with our Fauna Shaman. So what lands are we tutoring up? We have a bunch of sweet options. So the big payoffs are more lands that can cheat Emrakul into play. Windbrisk Heights and Mosswort Bridge, both hideaway lands. So you get to look at your top 4, exile 1 of them, and then when you meet a condition, you get to cast the card Exiled for just 1 mana. So with Windbrisk Heights, you got to attack with 3 creatures. Not really a problem because we have so many mana dorks running around. Nest Invader makes 2 creatures, so we just attack. If we have an Emrakul hidden under there, that's awesome. We just win the game. If we don't have an Emrakul, we probably have a Primeval Titan or something else fairly powerful. Mosswort Bridge, same trick, but we got to have 10 total power, but we can get there pretty easily with Knight of the Reliquary, which gets pretty big, Primeval Titan that gets pretty big. So we can tutor these up with our Knight, with our Primeval Titan, and then hopefully get an Emrakul from underneath them. We can also tutor up a bunch of creature lands to play defense, can attack to trigger our Windbrisk Heights, can block if we need to keep our life total high while we're waiting to find it through the breach or something. Mutavault becomes a 2/2, Calming Garden makes a plant for chump blocking, Stirring Wildwoods becomes a 3/4, and then Dryad Arbor, just a 1/1. And we also have a couple of Radiant Fountains, which we can tutor up, mostly with Primeval Titan to gain 4 life. Helps against aggro decks, just a little bit of a hedge against very aggressive decks in the format. As far as the rest of the deck, we're kind of built around the Fauna Shaman and tutor targets. So Eternal Witness, we can tutor it up, get back Through the Breach, get back any of our creatures that have died. Nissa takes advantage of the fact that we get a lot of lands on the battlefield with Primeval Titan, flips around, generates a lot of value, also finds us a land. Will Leaf Liege lets us go on the beatdown plan, just pumps all of our mana dorks, let us win when we're not casting an Emrakul or Primeval Titan. And then Cloud Thrasher looks pretty weird, but it's pretty big, and it gets rid of all of our opponent's Lingering Souls tokens, Delver of Secrets, gets rid of a bunch of little flyers, and a 7/7 for only 6 mana isn't that bad. We can trick our opponent since it has Flash. So while it might not look like much, it actually is a pretty powerful one of tutor target. The rest of the mana base, we get some fetch lands, we get some shock lands and basics to tutor up. In the sideboard, we have a bunch more creatures for the Fauna Shaman plan. Tireless Tracker for grindy matchups for card advantage, Kitchen Finks for aggro, Scavenging Ooze gives us some creature graveyard hate, Elesh Norn, again, a good way to sweep away a bunch of small things from our opponent and pump our mana dorks, Rexage for artifacts and enchantments, Eidolon of Rhetoric getting better and better in the format as Storm is actually a pretty heavily played deck, locks that deck down pretty hard, and then a few non-creatures, Path for removal, Stony Silence for Affinity and Tron, and then Beast Within, great catch-all, can hit a Tron land, hit a Planeswalker, whatever you need to kill, we can kill it, and we have so many creatures, the Beast shouldn't be too problematic, and that is Naya Breach Heights for Modern, and that's our instant deck for today, so thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.